Minnesota Vikings training camp is right around the corner, and even though there are some good vibrations around this team this year, there's still a couple of questions around this squad as they head into TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill in Eagan to begin training for hoisting the drum party for the first time and 12 times in the next 10 years. Here are the top 5 burning questions we have for the Minnesota Vikings. Up at 1, offensive line. No, we said there were questions. Offensive line? I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, so of course that is the major question. As the offensive line goes, as goes Kirk Cousins, as goes the Vikings offense. And then you look at the Vikings, they already have 2 fantastic bookend tackles. Christian Darrisaw, year 2, I think can rise up. Brian O'Neill is already the real deal at right tackle. But what is going to happen in the middle? Ezra, year 3, I think can hold it down at left guard. But the main question is what's going to happen at center. Can Garrett Bradbury be that guy that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell and Chris Cooper obviously have faith in? Because the Vikings could have easily drafted his replacement in Tyler Linderbaum or whoever, or they could have brought in a premium free agent, but they didn't. They brought in supplemental free agents like Chris Reed from the Colts, the pride of Mankato State University Community College, Jesse Davis coming in from the Dolphins, etc. So can they get some consistent play out of Bradbury? I think that maybe they can, for all the reasons we listed before. The Rams and Brian Allen, undersized center for the Rams. And also you have Wes Phillips, the OC, has an offensive line coaching background. Kevin O'Connell, quarterback, so of course he knows the value of the offensive line. So, and then also Chris Reed, Jesse Davis, Wyatt Davis, Ed Ingram, the rookie second-round pick from LSU. Who is going to win that right guard spot? Who's going to do it? And also, if Bradbury can't hold on to the center job, who's going to step in? Is it going to be Chris Reed, who's been taking some backup center snaps? Is it possible? I think that the Vikings have a winning combination somewhere in the mix here. I think that there is talent. I think that there is depth. It's a little bit unproven, and there still is a lot of question marks. That's why it's number 1 on the list. Next up, question number 2 on 5 burning questions for the Vikings heading into training camp. Cornerbacks. Actually, no. Cornerbacks? There you go. So I think that's the position group number 2 that has the most questions swirling around it. And Patrick Peterson is back. He's fantastic. He's a veteran. He sort of is what it is at this point of his career. And Cameron Dantzler had a really nice analytical end to his 2021 season. Can he continue that? Right, where he doesn't have Bashar Breeland, he doesn't have Mac Alexander, he doesn't have all of the bureaucracy and politics that was into the defense last year, right? So Patrick Peterson, Cameron Tiny Dantzler, can they succeed on the outside? Who's going to step up at slot cornerback? Is it going to be Andrew Booth Jr., the rookie second-round pick from Clemson, who I think does have the skill set to potentially work in the slot? We haven't seen him at offseason work because they're taking it very slow with him as he comes off of surgery. Or is it going to be Sean Don Sullivan coming over from the Packers? Is it going to be Nate Hairston? Is it going to be Harrison Hand, who has experience in the slot before? But like the offensive line, there's a lot of talent there, especially with the 2 rookies, Booth, as well as the 4th-round pick, Evans, coming out of Missouri, where I think that the Vikings do have some great length. I think they have some great athletic ability, but there is a lot of question marks. And I don't like giving the national media Jabroni haircuts credit, but I actually do think that it makes sense for them to say that the Vikings cornerback room, there's a lot more questions than answers, but I think that a lot of things are going to get sorted out in training camp. Who's going to be starting around the outside? Who's going to be in the slot? Who's going to be cornerback 4, etc. Next up, burning question number 3 for the Minnesota Vikings heading into training camp, rookie watch. Rookie watch? There you go. And with the new regime, maybe rookies will actually have the time of day. Even though off-season, when you have minicamp and OTAs, obviously they're still going to be paying their dues and all that stuff. But training camp is where things start opening up. Training camp is where the cream rises. And some of the veterans who were given their spots earlier on in the off-season, maybe they start giving way. Maybe some of these young guys start getting reps with the 2s, start getting reps with the 1s. And, of course, in preseason, they're going to play their hearts out and show why they were such prized draft picks. So you got Lewisine, of course, at 1. I think that he will start in some capacity opposite Harrison Smith, even though Cameron Bynum is still going to get his. I think that they'll have a lot of 3 safety looks, or Bynum playing as a big slot in the corner as a corner. We'll see. And then speaking of corners, so you got Booth, and then you got Caleb Evans, who are 2 absolute studs. They got length, they got feistiness. I love them. Ed Ingram, the second-round pick, even though a lot of the draft experts, they had Ingram going as a day 3 guy. The Vikings maneuvered and got him in the second round. Does he have the capacity to start? Can he make his way up the depth chart? Can he at least be playing with the second teamers? Can he at least be the swing interior offensive lineman? It's possible. Then Brian Asamoah. I love him so much. I love Asamo so much. Watch some Oklahoma highlights and all the rave reviews coming out of training camp, whether it be the players, the coaches, the media. They love Brian Asamo. Like I said, he's a heat-seeking missile. He brings the energy on every single down, and he's just fantastic. He's going to star in special teams right away. I think eventually he'll work his way starting opposite of Kendricks and then go from there. And then Otomeyu, can he make his way? Can he play some 5-tech along the defensive line? Ty Chandler, people forget about him because the Vikings running back room is so deep. Can he be that true blue scat back that the Vikings haven't had in recent years? Vidarian Lowe, who is a great athlete, really nice pickup, very interesting story coming in from Illinois. Can he work his way up and eventually be something at tackle? Jalen Speedy Naylor coming out of Michigan State. Can he win the punt return job? Keenan McCardle loves him. He was standing on the table for him. Nick Muse, your company's computer guy. The Vikings tight end depth is completely wide open. Again, he makes some hay. Could he emerge from training camp as tight end 2, maybe tight end 3? It's possible. Next up, burning question number 4 for the Minnesota Vikings heading into training camp. Will O'Connell live up to the hype? Oh, wait, there's a question mark there already. All right, so Kevin O'Connell, I mean, look at this jaw. Look at this jawline. It's chiseled out of granite, looking like a young Bud Grant. All of the hype, all the accolades on Kevin O'Connell, 36 years young. You won the Super Bowl. You're the offensive coordinator. You were the non-play calling offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl Championes. You won a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford as your quarterback, right? Can you do the same thing with Kirk Cousins, who you've worked with before? Have a bunch of great offensive weapons. The offensive line for the Rams outside of Whitworth last year was meh. Havenstein's fine. Brian Allen's fine, but still kind of meh. I think that he can. But, again, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of potential with Kevin O'Connell. He is a microcosm of this team where, again, he could blow up. He could become one of the great coaches in the National Football League for many years. Hopefully, lots of them in purple, hopefully hoisting that Jerome Barty a couple times. He's learned from some great coaches. He's worked under Sean McVay. He played under Bill Belichick. He worked with Gruden in Washington. So I do think that he has the pedigree and the potential, and all of the indications from the offseason have been, hey, they're building a great culture. Kevin O'Connell is a player's coach. They're going to be offensive focused. They're going to get things done there, and it's going to be completely wide open. You would love to see it. You would love to see it. Now, could Kevin O'Connell be the next Bill Walsh? Can he be that next guy, even though that bar is extremely high up there? I don't know. But I think the Vikings had a lot of options this offseason. Remember Harbaugh Watch 2022? Woo! It's good times. But I do think that Kevin O'Connell can be that guy. And now in his first training camp, really getting into the player, especially those dog days of summer, dog days of training camp. Can you bring that same energy? Can you bring that same juice? It's easy to do it when you only practice a couple days per week for minicamp or OTAs. But can you bring it and training camp? And can you bring it throughout preseason and then into the season? Can you keep grinding? Can you do that? I think that O'Connell has the capacity to do that, and he will be that guy. Lastly, burning question number 5 for the Vikings heading into training camp. Can the defense stop anyone? Now, a lot like the offense and offensive line and cornerback room, the defense, they got studs. They got studs at every freaking level, man. You got Diesel Dalvin, you got Daniil, you got Darius, you got Harrison Phillips, a free agent signee, you got Kendricks, who's the best coverage linebacker in the game. Patrick Peterson still has some juice left. Andrew Booth, Cameron Dantzler, Harrison Smith, Lewis Cine, etc. But can they actually get something done? Because largely, by and large, this defense was together last year, and they were booty, especially against the run, and they were porous in the pass game. Even though they're second in the league in sacks, there was just something that was left to be desired there. Now, Ed Donatel coming in, Mike Smith coming in, the outside linebackers coach from the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers. Can they flip the script? Can they stop the run up front? Because that's first and foremost. We know that they're going to be able to rush the passer. And Za'Darius and Daniil, knock on wood, if they stay healthy, they're one of the best edge rushing duos in the National Football League, if not the best. And can that pass rush just make all the cornerbacks better? Can the cornerbacks get up to speed and hold their weight as well? And again, they have all of the pieces there to be a great defense. But we haven't seen it the last 2 years under Zimmer, even though Zimmer, he's never had a bad defense. But that's a major question, because the offense, is it bad that I'm not too worried about the offense? I mean, with Jefferson and Cousins and Thielen and Dalvin, offensive line will be fine-ish. will be fine-ish, and I do trust Kevin O'Connell. So the offense is going to be fine. The Vikings will be able to put up points, but can they stop people? If you need to stop late in the game, can you get it? You didn't have that last year. And can the Vikings get back to what they once belonged, playing opportunistic defense, getting their ass off the field, getting turnovers, getting sacks, and just getting after that ass? I think that they can, certainly. But that's it. Those are 5 burning questions for the Minnesota Vikings heading into training camp. What are your questions for the Vikes? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.